am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Of course, are the infamous lines from the Bhagavad Gita quoted by Oppenheimer after the successful detonation of the Trinity test. But in this particular scenario, who really was the destroyer of worlds? Was he really referring to himself or some power way beyond any of our imaginations? Hi and welcome to PhD Productions, and today's video is way different from my usual content because ever since I watched Oppenheimer, every time there is any video on it, people quote this infamous line over and over again. However, I feel the way it has been interpreted by many hasn't been in line with what Oppenheimer's thought process actually was at that particular moment when humanity's future history got rewritten. Oppenheimer is a 2023 historical biopic directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Cillian Murphy as the head of the Manhattan Project for developing nuclear weapons for the United States, J. Robert Oppenheimer. The man was interesting to say the very least, as the ones who are into the lives of historic figures, or thanks to the new movie, just general movie enthusiasts, now know the kind of life Oppenheimer lived. Great knowledge, charm, and some politics. But without a doubt, the most intriguing part of his life was the storm inside his head, during his duty of creating these weapons of mass destruction, which even he knew would ultimately get him the name of a murderer, directly or indirectly. But their creation could also in a way benefit the goal of maintaining peace, right? But peace using fear? His creation, this weapon, could easily wipe out our entire race off the planet, glimpse of which he would get to see in August of 1954. How could he be a part of making the very thing that can be used to potentially destroy everything, as they believed there was a slight chance that the weapon would ignite the atmosphere when detonated? He would be responsible for all those deaths, right? This was the part of the fear and confusion that Oppenheimer was experiencing during his time working on the Manhattan Project. During this time, he sought the shelter under the roof of knowledge provided by the holiest book in the Hindu and Sanatan Dharma, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. What Oppenheimer stated was, "We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed, few people cried, most people were silent." I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." To understand Oppenheimer's quote, you need to have a basic understanding of the Gita and the events that happened right before it. However, as I talk about the prince, I need you to think of Oppenheimer instead of the prince. Ready? So the Bhagavad Gita is a part of the Indian mythological history, the Mahabharata. The prince he refers to is Arjun, the warrior from the side of the Pandavas, the 5 brothers, the good guys basically, who are about to face their 100 cousins, the brothers Kauravas. And Vishnu in this case is actually the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Shri Krishna, who is guiding Arjun's chariot in the battlefield. As the rules of the battles, the two armies faced each other in Kurukshetra. But just as the war was about to begin, seeing his own brothers, teacher and grandfather in front of him, Arjun crumbles, dropping his bow, refusing to kill his family. But as his duty as a warrior is to fight, he is stuck in this confusion of whether he should just give up and accept defeat or to follow the path of the warrior, for which he seeks guidance from Krishna. Because as we know, Krishna being the incarnation of God himself knows the right thing to do in this scenario. And what follows is a 45-minute long conversation between him and Arjun, where he clears all of Arjun's doubts and in a nutshell asks him to fight not because of anger, greed, jealousy or any sort of emotion, but to be still and sharp-minded, and only to fight because as a warrior his duty is to fight. Because all emotions, relations, desires as well as all belongings are only materialistic, temporary and nothing but an illusion bound by a single life, after which you die and none of it matters to you anymore. Now, do you see the resemblance between Oppenheimer and Arjun yet? If you liked the video so far, please consider subscribing as it encourages me a lot. Also, remember to hit the notification button. The most interesting part is on its way. Bear with me please. Krishna also clearly mentions that only the physical body is what is destructible. The soul, which is a part of God itself, cannot be harmed no matter what happens to the body. Now, clear of all his doubts, in absolute awe of Krishna's cosmic knowledge, he requests Krishna to show him his true godness, a form that would encompass all the greatness of God he had stated to him. Krishna, pleased with Arjun's devotion, grants his wish and provides him divine eyes that can see his true form, after which this happens. The brightness there seemed like a billion suns had descended upon the battleground. As then Arjun saw the world, the stars, the entire universe. He saw everything that ever was and that is to be. He saw the 14 realms. He saw all death and all life. The sun, the moon, and then, right in front of his eyes, Krishna, whom he had thought of as his friend for his entire life and as a normal human being, turned into a massive being with the size of infinite dimensions. His size transcending the multiverse. He takes on his multi-armed form with infinite heads. His heads and his different faces all around him. No matter where he looked, all he saw was this incomprehensible deity which defied all logic. There he saw all his family members that he cared for enter the mouth of one of his heads. God's teeth crushed their heads, as from the other mouth there was creation. Arjun, incapable of understanding this form, gets struck by fear, as God's true form was not something anyone can really ever comprehend. He begs God to tell him who he truly was, as he was incapable of seeing any beginning or any end of him, to which God replies,
Kalosmi lokakshayakruta pravruddho lokan samahartumiha pravruttaha ruprepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthitaha pratyanikeshu yodhaha.
This is the exact verse which Oppenheimer quoted in his own words, where God says, I am death, the one who destroys worlds. All of creation as well as all destruction is within him, and that even if Arjun didn't kill them at the moment, they would die anyways, because the time of all their deaths was already fixed by God himself, and hence Arjun should leave fear of sinning and do his duty alone. The thing here is, Oppenheimer is Arjun, in middle of a battlefield doing his duty and helping make the atomic bomb, because it was his duty at that moment in time, even if he felt responsible for all the deaths caused by the weapon. And if you remember the description of God, it seemed like a billion suns had descended upon the field of Kurukshetra. It was essentially exactly what Oppenheimer must have felt like, witnessing when the bright flash of the atomic bomb went off, with the mushroom cloud even roughly mirroring the popular visual representation artworks of this universal god form of Vishnu. Oppenheimer found comfort in knowing that only and only if he would work on this project without any thought of gaining something from it, only then could he self-realize that his actions aren't evil and he should not fear the consequences no matter what it is. He found the Gita so influential that he learnt Sanskrit to understand it, and that's what I feel Oppenheimer truly meant when he quoted the Gita. And with that, my friends, we come to the end of this video. I know this isn't the usual kind of video I do, but I really found this topic extremely intriguing. And the reason I haven't posted anything in a long while is because I've been working on something bigger. Well, you'll just have to wait a bit to find out what it is. Anyhow, I will soon be covering Godzilla -1 on this channel because I have seen the trailer and I'm in absolute love with it. You will soon see my reaction and theories on it, so subscribe to get notified when that video comes out. So thank you so much for watching this. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.